Hi Charles, you must be pleased with that performance today because with the pit stop, with your moves, with your hanging on at the end there, everything, you worked really hard for that podium as a team and it came.
Yeah, I'm really happy. I don't think there was anything to squeeze more out of the car that we have at the moment, and I was very pleased with the pace that we've shown once we were in free air on the first stint. I think this was very promising. Now we just need to put everything together in qualifying. It's always been one of my strengths, but for now I cannot do more than P4, really. There's just not enough grip, and we are paying a lot the price then once in the race, because if we are starting first, today I think it's a very different story, and I think we actually have a very good race car in order to be fighting for wins, but at the moment we're just losing our weekends on the Saturday.
You said on the radio at one point, let's stop trying to fix what's not fixable. What was that?
Turn 16. 16 was horrible in the first part of the race. I don't know why, it felt so bad, and I couldn't do anything. I was trying everything, but just the car was either understeering like crazy or oversteering like crazy, and I couldn't do anything. As soon as I got free, actually it got much better. But I had very often messages on the radio on that turn 15, 16, and I was trying my best, but the grip was just not there. So I was just like, leave it there, I'll try my best, but I don't think that it's going to work.
I might just only ask you very briefly, so you say the qualifying is where you're losing it at the moment, so how much can you change the car at the moment to suit qualifying, and you're at risk of losing some of this edge on Sunday if you do that?
I don't think it's that easy, unfortunately. It's not like we are setting up the car better for the race than for quali, or that we are taking any compromises. We are just trying to make the car the fastest possible. But once we are in qualifying, that you are pushing to the limits, that there's the tire preparation also in the loop, then things are not clicking for us at the moment, and we need to try and find something. But I will say overall, our strength is tire management. What we are lacking is just downforce compared to the Red Bulls, compared to the McLaren, also compared to the Mercedes. And I think today we are a step better because the tire management is really good, but we are still lacking the downforce that we were lacking yesterday.
Thank you. Thanks.
Fred, congratulations, podium there for Charles. Was it? Did it look like a podium was on the cards at the start? Did you think that the pace in the second stint would be that strong?
Yeah, but it's always difficult to predict the pace for the race, and as we didn't do the long stint on Friday, but I think it went pretty well. We were able to extend, to not push too much at the beginning, and to extend with the first stint, and everything went well. We are in the pace as Norris, the same pace as Norris at the end. It was with medium, but it's good, but it's. As I always see also the negative side of this, I think that we have to improve the quali, because that's starting from a better position could be much better.
Can I ask you about Lewis? Because we saw in qualifying he was a long way off, as he was in Bahrain. But in Bahrain, at least, his race pace seemed stronger. Here, he was, in the end, a long way off Charles. I think it was 30-odd seconds at the end. It's anything to report from Lewis's side?
No, I didn't discuss with Lewis that, but it was a bit up and down. It's not that he was always out of the pace, but let me discuss with him first.
Where do you think it is? Because obviously you saw qualifying. Is there one area that Lewis is struggling with at the moment that you can help with?
No, perhaps with the confidence with the car, perhaps with a little bit with himself also, that everything is new. And for sure, this kind of weekend, when you don't do long stint on Friday and we struggle a little bit with the balance, are not ideals, but let's see next week. Last time that we did the sprint, it went pretty well.
Okay, well, we get a weekend off after a tough triple header. Thank you.
You were saying to us you needed some magic, or I think there's a quote saying you said you needed a brain transplant to get on top of this car, but it really seemed to come alive for you in that second stint towards the end there. Was there a point where you did feel comfortable in the race today? No.
There wasn't 1 second, no.
So how hard is it then? What are you dealing with in the car, and how much work is
well,
to do?
clearly the car is capable of being P3, so Charles did a great job today, so I can't blame him on the car.
You don't have any idea why it's just not happening for you?
No.
All right, thank you. Sorry.
Lewis Hamilton's much-hyped move to Ferrari has taken a difficult turn just 2 races into the 2025 F1 season. After a frustrating Saudi Arabian Grand Prix, Hamilton admitted that the struggles he's facing with the Ferrari SF25 could last the entire year. It was a weekend of disappointment from start to finish for the 105-time Grand Prix winner. Hamilton started 7th and finished in the same position, crossing the line a full 31 seconds behind teammate Charles Leclerc, who secured a morale-boosting third place. While Leclerc managed to extract the maximum from the car with a smart strategy and composed drive, Hamilton was left wrestling a machine that simply refused to respond to his touch. 0. There was nothing positive to take from the race except Charles finishing on the podium for the team, Hamilton told media after the race, his tone flat and devoid of the optimism fans have come to expect. It was horrible. I didn't enjoy it. That candid assessment came after a race plagued by understeer and poor balance, issues Hamilton said he tried everything to fix, without success. His frustrations were especially evident in the first stint, where he struggled to get the front end of the car to rotate through corners. Even after his pit stop and switch to a new tire compound, things only improved marginally. I had massive understeer and the car was not turning, Hamilton said. In the second stint, I had slightly better balance, but still nowhere near what I needed. I'm struggling with balance, struggling to feel the car beneath me. But there is no particular thing to say. Hey, this is the issue. Worryingly for Hamilton and his legion of fans, he doesn't believe this is a one-off issue. When asked whether he could see things improving in the short term, the 39-year-old was brutally honest. I think I will also struggle in Miami. At the moment, there is no fix. This is how it is going to be for the rest of the year. It is going to be painful, he said. I literally tried everything and the car just didn't want to work with me. It was a rare moment of vulnerability from one of the sport's most resilient and adaptable drivers. And when further pressed by reporters on why these issues weren't affecting Leclerc in the same way, Hamilton had only one word in response: no. With that, he ended the interview, walking away just 30 seconds after it began. Tension is growing as Hamilton's struggles with Ferrari's SF25 become more apparent. Despite urging fans to temper expectations, it's clear the car doesn't suit his driving style, and with no clear solution in sight, he could be in for a tough, frustrating season. To make matters more complicated, his struggles are highlighted by the performances of others. Rookie Ollie Behrman, who stepped in for Carlos Sainz in Bahrain and scored points on debut, appeared to take to the Ferrari with surprising ease. Meanwhile, Kimi Antonelli, Hamilton's indirect successor at Mercedes, has quickly shown flashes of brilliance in his first full F1 season. The contrast raises uncomfortable questions. Why is the most experienced driver on the grid struggling so much when others are adapting so quickly? It's not all doom and gloom. Hamilton did score a sprint race victory earlier in the season, providing a rare high point in what has otherwise been a turbulent start to life in red. But that success now feels more like an outlier than the beginning of a resurgence. Since then, the issues have piled up, and the chemistry between Hamilton and his SF25 remains elusive. With 2 weeks until the next Grand Prix in Miami, Ferrari and Hamilton have a brief window to regroup, but even the man himself doesn't sound optimistic. While Leclerc continues to push for upgrades and aims to keep Ferrari within striking distance of Red Bull and Mercedes, Hamilton is simply searching for a car that feels like an extension of himself, a sensation he's yet to find in his new home. The move to Ferrari was supposed to be a fresh start, perhaps even a fairy tale ending to one of the greatest careers in motorsport history. Instead, it's shaping up to be one of Hamilton's most mentally challenging seasons yet. The pressure, scrutiny, and sheer weight of expectation were always going to be immense, but no one, least of all Hamilton, expected the pain to start this early and run this deep. As the season unfolds and the 24-race calendar charges ahead, the question is no longer whether Hamilton can fight for wins. It's whether he can find any joy in the process. Because if Jeddah was any indication, this chapter in Hamilton's storied career could be one defined not by glory, but by grit, and the relentless search for answers in a car that refuses to cooperate. Charles Leclerc may not have started the Saudi Arabian Grand Prix weekend with high expectations, but by the time the checkered flag fell on Sunday night, the Monegasque driver was standing proudly on the podium, his first of the 2025 Formula One season. The third-place finish in Jeddah wasn't just a personal triumph. It was a glimmer of what could be for a resurgent Ferrari team still trying to close the gap to Red Bull and Mercedes. For Leclerc, who had openly voiced his frustrations after qualifying, the result came as a welcome surprise. one that left him very proud and cautiously optimistic for what lies ahead. Leclerc's journey to the podium was shaped as much by strategy and resilience as it was by pure pace. After qualifying left him downbeat, failing to crack the top 3 on a circuit where grid position is crucial, the 27-year-old knew he had work to do. Saturday had been disappointing, especially given the team's efforts to maximize performance in one-lap scenarios. But come race day, Leclerc and his crew delivered when it mattered most. Starting on medium tires, Leclerc executed a long first stint to perfection, managing tire degradation while maintaining competitive lap times. It was a calculated risk, and it paid off. His ability to extend the life of his opening set gave him the flexibility to pit on lap 30, swapping to hard tires with 20 laps to go. As the frontrunners made their stops and the race shuffled into its second phase, Leclerc emerged in third, a position he would defend tenaciously, despite increasing pressure from McLaren's Lando Norris in the closing stages. "I never expected to finish there," Leclerc admitted afterward. "Honestly, I thought this race would be more about defending from the cars behind, especially Andrea Kimi Antonelli. So to come out with a podium, it feels really good." Leclerc's performance drew praise not just from fans and pundits, but also from within his own garage. In one particularly lighthearted moment, race engineer Brian Bozzi offered a laid-back compliment over the radio after Leclerc's critical pass on George Russell for third place into Turn 1. The cool demeanor from the pit wall drew an equally amusing response from Leclerc, who appreciated the calm encouragement during what was, inside the cockpit, a high adrenaline moment. "He was very chill," Leclerc said with a laugh. "Brian was very relaxed on the pit wall. For me, it was a bit more intense inside the car, but that's just how it is. We've built a great relationship over the past year, and I think that chemistry is beginning to show on track. It helps a lot in these tight races." The mutual trust between driver and engineer is evident and increasingly important as Ferrari looks to close the performance gap to the front-running teams. While Sunday's result was a morale booster, Leclerc remained grounded in his post-race reflections. He acknowledged that while he and the team had maximized absolutely everything in Saudi Arabia, there's still a performance delta that needs addressing. "It's the way it is for now, unfortunately," he explained. "In qualifying, we just don't seem able to extract that extra tenth or two from the car, and in this sport, that's everything. We're competitive in race trim, and today showed that, but we can't settle. We need to keep pushing to improve every aspect, especially single lap pace, if we want to consistently fight at the front." The podium finish is also a welcome momentum shift for Leclerc himself. After a 2024 season marked by ups and downs, including several frustrating DNFs and missed podiums, the start of the 2025 campaign has already offered a more stable foundation. With 8 career wins to his name and still in his prime, Leclerc is hungry for more than just the occasional top 3 finish. He wants to contend for the championship, and to do that, he knows that incremental gains must continue. "Hopefully upgrades are coming soon in order to improve the car," Leclerc noted, hinting at Ferrari's development roadmap. "We've shown we can execute well on Sundays. Now we just need the raw pace to back it up." The 2025 Saudi Arabian Grand Prix wasn't a blockbuster win for Charles Leclerc, but it marked meaningful progress. With a composed and mature drive, he showcased his ability to maximize results despite the car's current limitations. As Ferrari eyes upcoming races and prepares key upgrades, Leclerc's podium finish could be the momentum shift the team needs. In a sport defined by unpredictability, his performance in Jeddah may be the spark that reignites Ferrari's charge.